Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and in this one I'm going to be showing you guys how to defeat the Sleeping Daoist and Murong Yuan as part of the level 51 raid. This boss fight consists of many mechanics, most of which require coordination and awareness in order to complete. Starting us off, there will be brown puddles, which the boss spawns periodically. Although one of the more tame mechanics, it is advised to avoid them as they deal damage if you go through them. Coupled with that is one of the more core mechanics called Vine Prison. This boss ability captures and imprisons 1, 2, or 3 players depending on the stage of the fight and roots them in vines. The responsibility of the other players is to free them such that the trapped players don't die and can rejoin the fight. The next few mechanics occur when the boss spawns a wind circle on the floor. The job of the tank is to drag the boss away from that circle whilst also keeping it within range such that people can use it later on. This circle, as you can see, transforms anyone who has entered it into a donkey. Anyone who transforms will remain as a donkey for a period of time before turning back to normal. Additionally, the boss may summon a group of donkeys which should be dodged or you will take some damage. The boss will also eventually turn everyone in the raid into a donkey. Simultaneously, the boss will open 2 portals, which will have a stampede of donkeys exit from them. The job of the player is to run in the same direction as the donkeys in the pack, such that you get the blending in buff. This will prevent the boss from damaging you. This will occur 2 times before everyone is transferred back to normal, the timer being indicated by the red debuff marker on your buff bar. The next mechanic is the Donkey Dream ability, in which the boss summons donkeys, which the players need to kill quickly. The boss will also use the Levitation Curse to fling marked allies up into the air. The job of chosen players will be to enter the wind circle earlier mentioned and transform into a donkey. Those transformed players will then go under the allies that have been flung up such that they can land on the donkey and then dismount. If this is not done, the flung up player will take massive damage. The final key mechanic of note is the Illusion Donkey ability. Similar to the Donkey Dream, the boss will summon donkeys which will enhance the boss if not killed quickly. Furthermore, the boss is hitting everyone in the raid with damaging abilities whilst the donkeys remain alive. Once the donkeys are killed, the boss will return to the ground and damage can resume. These steps are then repeated until finally the boss is dead. The second boss for this week's raid is Murong Yuan. This boss consists of a DPS check, which would wipe the raid if failed, important communication sections, and a general understanding of basic mechanics. The first mechanic comes quickly, as you will notice barrels located throughout the area, which are spawned periodically. These are the core mechanic of the raid and are to be noted as the fight progresses. As you will see, the raid will get a notification below the boss health bar, and the barrels will glow red if they are too close to another barrel. The job of the raid is to make sure that these barrels are separated from other glowing barrels and put a safe distance from each other, and will be indicated by the glow fading. The second important mechanic is the Sea of Fire ability used by the boss. As you can see, the boss teleports into the middle of the arena, followed by 75% of the arena floor being covered by a golden glow which is slowly filling. This bar is the time you have to move the multitude of newly spawned barrels which have begun to glow away from other glowing barrels. Although this is not a team wipe if you fail, you may suffer enough damage to kill a majority of the raid if enough barrels are not dealt with. You may also periodically notice that some of your teammates will have a golden orb surrounding them on the floor. Try to stay away from your teammates as it will deal damage. The final 2 major mechanics are the DPS check and the Eagle's Descent. For the DPS check, the boss will teleport to the middle and stunlock the tank or the person with aggro. This requires the raid to reduce the boss's newly gained shield down to 0 before the 20-second timer beats them to it. Should this be failed, the raid will wipe and you will need to start again. Similar to the Sea of Fire ability she used earlier, the boss's eagle will also descend to the ground accompanied by a few glowing barrels. Your task is to move the barrels and kill the bird before the timer expires, or else the raid will take damage. This damage scales with how many barrels the bird has detonated. So in this example, 0 barrels were destroyed, and so the bird only did a bit of damage to my team instead of completely killing us all. It must also be noted that the boss has an ability which explodes all explosive barrels, which are the glowing ones, and so should there be any glowing barrels when the boss uses this ability called Blazing Edge, those will explode and deal massive damage to the team. You will then rinse and repeat these steps until the boss is finally defeated, noting that as the fight progresses, the boss will be spawning more and more barrels, and in the second Sea of Fire event, there will be massive amounts of barrels compared to the first one, and so you need to be coordinated and on point in order to deal with that if you do not have enough damage. Finally, I want to say thank you for watching this guide. I hope it was informative, accurate, and allowed you to get through the boss encounters without too much trouble. If you did find this guide helpful, please feel free to like the video and share it with anyone who may not know how the raid works. Once again, thank you very much, and I hope to see you later on.